Good evening, everyone, online and offline. This is Monica Ma'am. She is rank 2 from the previous PCS. So, since Punjab PCS are here, they sanu chahiye that we get a message from horse's mouth. How do you succeed? And how do you get through? There is no claim, no nothing like that. It is just pure guidance to everybody, right? So, ma'am, please, we welcome you here. Thank you so much for helping us crack this exam and helping everybody, including me, with your great knowledge.
So, hello everyone, online and offline. I hope your preparation is going well. So, we'll try to keep it a two-way communication because then only I think we'll be making it more productive. So, what's going on? If you can just tell me, how are you feeling right now? Anxiety or fine or excited about because there are only 4 weeks left now. So, how are you feeling? It would help me, tackle it better if you could tell me that how are you feeling actually. Stress again. Actually, what I believe is that these 30 days, or I would say 29 days, and these 4 weeks, these are the ones which will make you or break you. So, how you approach these 4 weeks will actually make it count. I would only suggest certain things in a very crisp manner. You can do the tweaks as per your SWOT analysis. So, the first thing that I would like to insist upon is that once you get up in the morning, you have been through the day, you have done your studies, in the evening or at night, you should with yourself, sit with yourselves for 15 minutes and analyze what have you done throughout the day, because the most challenging part in today's time with the preparation is that you are so much bombarded with the material, this marathon, that marathon, these mcqs, flts, sectionals, csat, and these current affairs, these quarterly magazines, these monthly magazines, this pt, that thing. So you are so bombarded, you cannot actually filter out the things. So you start one thing, but I believe sometimes you would never reach the end, and you never know when are you going to take that book or that source again to revise it. I'm sure this would happen with many of you. You would do a particular topic from a particular source, keep it aside, and you never know when I'm going to take it again and revise it again. So don't do that in that manner. It is a haphazard manner basically. So what I will say is, you plan your day, not your weeks, not your months. Months so वैसे भी नहीं है, right? So rather than week, plan your days. When you are planning your days, plan hourly, or maybe in a batch of 2 hours. And frankly speaking, 8 to 10 hours are more than enough to fetch the best out of what you are doing, right? So what you have to do is, with the presence of mind, you just divide your slots of the day in 1 to 2 hours. And what I would suggest is, don't do a single component a day. That will, human mind is, it gets bored easily, frankly speaking. So what you have to do is, you have to diverse your subjects or the components that you follow. There can be minimum of two components that you study each day. A slot of 1.5 to 2 hours maybe in the morning, and the same in the afternoon, and you can have around 12 p.m. one, you can have around the current affairs for a time of 1.5 to 2 hours. In the evening you can go for csat, a hour or so. And then again, before sleeping, you can have a 15-30 minutes a session only with yourself, where you will actively recall what you have done throughout the day. So for example, if you have started with the topic of president, you spent 9 to 11, basically तो 2 hours उसमें लगने ही चाहिए, since you are in the revision mode now. So if you spend an hour in the morning on president, vice president, and simultaneously governor, so I've done these three topics, revise these in 2.5 hours. So in the evening, you should be able to recall the 10 to 15 facts about these topics on your fingertips. Who points whom, how, what is the electoral college, what are the articles associated, what is the impeachment process, what are the powers that this person hold, where from this office is inspired, from where we have taken it, or if any current issue. For example, vice president has been elected recently, right? And in Punjab's case, the governor, the case that was there, state of Punjab versus the that thing. So how the bills, the provisions, they have been, timeline has been set. So similarly, for the another component, if you have done monetary policy, you should have 10 pointers शाम को बैठ के, what is monetary policy, monetary policy committee कौन है, किसने बनाई है, statutory mandate है, what is inflation targeting, target under it, RBI है, RBI कब बना, RBI का mandate क्या है, chairman कौन है, just for that purpose, right? So these things, it will give you that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. And believe me, you not, sense of accomplishment at the end of the day is one thing that we should crave for. Accomplishing a day at a time will eventually lead to accomplishing your goal at the end. So your small chunks of that should be there preparation. So this is the one thing that I would like you to incorporate. Second thing that I would insist upon is you should practice the MCQs and the tests. I hope you will be doing the same with here at Super 20. Also the questions are being shared with you, and you are, I believe, doing the same as well. So what I would say is, what we tend to do is, when we are practicing those questions na, we are not in that exam mode. We say it is just ऐसे ideally बैठे थे, चलो कर रहे हैं, सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, आधे घंटे में हो गए 50 क्वेश्चन, ओके डन एंड केप्ट असाइड एंड ऑल. डोंट डू लाइक दैट. Take it as an exam mode. If you are attempting an FLT, sit for good 2 hours. You might complete that FLT in an hour. You might complete it in 1.5 hours. You might complete it in 1 hour 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But don't leave it. Spend those remaining 15 minutes and half an hour also with that question paper. Because that 15 minutes or 30 minutes that you will spend after you have gone through all the questions and you have marked them, that is also going to fetch you something. Maybe you will get into 3 to 5 questions of such a kind that you would have either marked, in a wrong way, or you have taken them in a different way, right? So the thing is that when you do that, so do it in a way that you spend the time on a question and internalize the things that are being asked. Don't rush into questions. What we have, we get into excitement. Oh, this has been asked, ये तो कल ही पढ़ा था, तो इसमें तो I can just go through it. Don't rush into the questions. It will cost you, I mean, it can cost you a rank if you will rush into questions. Same goes for the mains also. If you could wrongly interpret the question, it could cost you a rank, right? And the another thing that I would say is that when you prepare, always keep one thing in your mind, that it is an exam. Prelims, basically it is an exam of rejection. They have to reject people, and they have to select the 12 to 13 times of the number of posts. So you don't have to, take it on your ego, or you don't have to prove to somebody that I got 180 out of 200, I got 150 out of 200. Nobody, believe me, nobody is interested in knowing how much you scored in the prelims. You just have to go through the prelims, and that will be decided by the exam. How the question paper is, what do they, what topics do they cover, or how they give the exam. So don't take it into that way. Just do it that you have to. उसमें क्या होता है कि वही एक टॉपिक में बैठे, उसका कुछ प्रोविजन सर्च करने बैठ गए, बैठे हैं सर्च करने, आधा घंटा निकल गया, उसी में चेन रिएक्शन हो रहा है, गोइंग इनटू, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ 2 hours you say, what I have studied this much. That's why I say you have to analyze yourself after every 2 hours. Tangible targets should be there. You should not be, doing the things in a haphazard manner. I hope this is fine with you all. Another thing that I would say is that what I have seen and I have personally experienced during my preparation is that we have a tendency to follow and to repeatedly, revise and take up the subjects that we are more comfortable in. Polity, suppose for example, polity, it is very, for most of the people like it, right? But then also it is a mainstream subject also, you expect questions, but that doesn't mean that at the cost of polity you are ignoring other subjects like economy, and in this case Punjab GK and current affairs, right? So you have to be very much aware of that each component is getting a respectable time. Don't make it a polity, and then again what here sir also reiterates again and again, don't cover it, don't revise it cover to cover now, since it's the last leg of your preparation. So you have to get the high yielding topics out of the components, make a chart of it, and those high yielding topics should be revised first of the components. And what you can do is daily targets for 1 week at a time, and then divide your weeks into that way. For example, if you have 4 weeks left now, you can divide it into mota mota 2 weeks and 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks you can keep it for 14 days are there. You can keep 2 days for maybe one component or two components, because you have 4 days for two components, because you should be following two components each day. So 4 days to a two components would be like you are revising polity, and along with polity maybe some general science, which is a shorter part, or maybe Punjab GK. So 4 days will suffice for that. 4-5 hours one day, every day on 3 to 4 hours a day on each of the components. So then another 15 days which are left behind. So you will be able to do 4 days into 4 into 2, you will be able to do the moटे मोटे subjects in these 15 days. तो जो पीछे वाले 15 days रह गए उसमें फिर से again you revise those things, because what is needed at this time is you should be able to consolidate what you are learning. It shouldn't happen कि आपने अभी कल परसों पढ़ा था ब्रिक्स में न्यू मेंबर्स ऐड हुए हैं, डब्ल्यूटीओ में पीछे कोई न्यू मेंबर्स ऐड हुए थे, या हमारा किसी के साथ एफटीए हुआ था, या कोई और टॉपिक है, कोई ऑनलाइन गेमिंग एक्ट आया है, या कुछ भी आया है, एंड देन यू फॉरगेट द प्रोविजंस आउट ऑफ ब्लू ऑफ इट. I have seen people who would even forget it that president gives his resignation to whom. And when you study the topic of president, it is just a one liner. Because why does it happen? Because you don't internalize the topics or the facts. You just hurriedly rush through, and then you give yourself an illusion of preparation that yes, I have studied well, I have revised also, and then when the output, it's very different. So be true to yourself, and it's worth it at the end. But only me saying that it is worth it doesn't make it worth even. So you do it yourself, and what I believe is being in the hands of a good mentor is always something that you should be thankful. There should be gratitude, because the road leads to, there are many roads that would lead to that destination, but there would be nobody who would be accompanying you through that road. So if you have got a mentor who would accompany you with your so micromanagement at the timetable level that is not seen anywhere else, so I would believe you should be thankful for it, and you should follow the things that way, right? And hopefully we'll meet after the prelims, and for mains also we'll have a session. So anything else you would like to ask? Anything left, or what? All settled? Yeah, mains is again, I would say, because prelims is an exam of rejection or selection, whatever you call it, selection for you and rejection for your competitors. So when you get into the mains is something that will decide to an extent your rank and the post that you'll get, right? So I would say for mains, you should be very clear with your answer writing. You should be first of all clear that what the question, interpreting the question. We don't in the exam you have that time 3 hours of time span. उसमें आपको बाउंसर्स ही होते हैं 20 के 20 क्वेश्चंस, राइट? आप उसको एक बार पढ़ते हो और प्रेशर और स्ट्रेस होता है, ऊपर से टाइमर चल रहा होता है, यू जस्ट रीड द क्वेश्चन, इफ यू इंटरप्रेट इट रॉन्ग, हाफ वे जाके आपको पता लगा कि ये तो नहीं, इसमें तो वो लिखना था, यू आर गॉन, right? First of all, you have to complete the paper. The bare minimum that you can do in mains is to complete the paper. If your one of the questions is left, then if in overall one question is left, then you might still be catching up. But if हर पेपर में ऐसा हो रहा है कि दो क्वेश्चन छूट रहे हैं, then only you are out, right? So bare minimum is completing your paper. Second thing is, how do you interpret the questions? Go with the syllabus. One thing that you should do after coming from the prelims and taking your answer key, your marks, and then keeping shut your ears from the noise that is surrounding you. This cut off, that. You would yourself come to know that this is where I stand. Just start work on the prelims with the mains with a cap of maybe 1 to 2 days or 3 days, whatever you feel like, right? And then when you will start sit with the syllabus, with the PYQs, make your strategy subject wise, GS 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the language and essay. One thing I would reiterate again, for the Punjab PCS, the two language papers and the essay papers are the ones which will eventually decide whether you will be in the top 10 or you will be in the top 50 or maybe in top 100. It is I have seen it in my case, going by the essay paper topics that were shared from Super 20 also by Mr. Anmol Mehta sir also, and by the language papers that we were given, that could actually make a difference. So not only tilting towards or skewing towards the GS topics. You should cover those first once you start preparing for the mains. Essay and two language papers, which are usually underestimated. All right. Then you begin with the stats part, GS paper 3. GS paper 3 will also be some like, you can call it an paper that will actually make a difference whether you will clear the mains or not. 50 to 70 मार्क्स का जो पेपर है वो स्टैट्स से आता है, एंड स्टैट्स को वहां पे करना कोरिलेशन रिग्रेशन एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. जब आप अब तो हैबिट नहीं रही होती ना, वी आर इनटू दिस टेक्स्ट रीडिंग एंड नाउ विद द सीसैट बीइंग क्वालिफाइंग इन नेचर, तो और हैबिट छूट चुकी है following that reasoning and maths wala karne ki. So that would again be that. So you will catch into the stats wala part along with those three papers. And then one by one the papers component wise should be there. 3 से 4 क्वेश्चन सोसाइटी के आने हैं, तो सोसाइटी के टॉपिक्स उठा ले जाएं. More or less they are related to the contemporary issues that are going on, the court cases or maybe anything like that. Similarly for the world history part. Now, for example, I would also like to tell you that there are certain components which are coming specifically in the PCS, like world history we have, right, in the prelims also, political theory that we have in the prelims also. These might not be giving you that, the output, if we see the gains, the ratio which we get. But what I think is that even if you spend 5 to 7 hours in totality of your preparation, 7 to 8 hours being spent or 10 hours being spent on world history and 4 to 5 hours being spent on political theory are enough. If you get the question, very good. If you don't get the question, it's okay. You are not going to sail through only on the that of this world history and this political theory. World history is doable. It is history, it is chronology is there, you will enjoy it, so you can go with that. And eventually then political theory you can get into. So then mains is, I think addressed. So anything else that you would like to ask?
Now, like 2021 exam pattern was quite different from earlier, so how you tackle it?
Actually, the first tackling is that you should absorb the uncertainty that you get in the paper. Be ready for uncertainty, both in life and in exam. You will be much in a much better position to face it. What you do is, for the first 3 minutes that you will get your question paper, just flip the paper and absorb the questions that have come. You will see maybe 5 to 7 questions that you know. ये प्रेसिडेंट पूछ लिया, इलेक्शन कमीशन पूछ लिया, ये मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी पूछ ली, आईआर से ब्रिक्स का क्वेश्चन आ गया, ये तो मैंने पढ़ा है. ओके, फ्लिपिंग ओनली, यू आर जस्ट लुकिंग इनटू वो कीवर्ड्स दिख रहे हैं, एंड यू माइट गेट द क्वेश्चंस, यू माइट नो. हो सकता है कि कुछ ऐसे हो जो नहीं पता, जैसे पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी का कोई थिंकर है, but absorb it first for 2 to 3 minutes. Absorb it. Then there is no hard and fast rule starting from 1 to 100. I didn't do the same in the prelims of 21. Just work strength se start karo. Gain that confidence in the first 15-20 minutes of attempting the question paper. अगर आप पहले आधे घंटे में वो क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट कर लेते हो जो आपकी स्ट्रेंथ पे हैं और आपको यू आर श्योर अबाउट देम, इट विल बूस्ट योर कॉन्फिडेंस. एंड इनिशियली कॉन्फिडेंस ही बूस्ट करना है, right? Play with your mind and your mindset. So that is the only catch that is there, right? And then you have, once you have seen that what are the components, and then go by that slowly. Polity के पहले कर लिए, फिर economy पे चले गए according to your own SWOT analysis. CSAT was even one of my weaknesses as well, CSAT. But then what I decided was, at least, if there are 4 things that are coming apart from, if you leave communication skills as a separate topic, reasoning, maths, and English and Punjabi, you should be good at least 3 of them. So you choose your own, right? Don't only rely on the comprehension part, because they can play there, right? So you have to be getting into this reasoning and maths wala part. Be good at 3 and be an about average at one of them. So you can, from now only 4 weeks left, you should spend half an hour to 1 hour on CSAT. And I think it's good also at the end of the day if you have learned the theory entire day. So that would do.
Any other question? हम दो ऑनलाइन क्वेश्चंस हैं.
जी सर.
This is how to manage anxiety before the exam.
Okay. Anxiety before the exam is, I would believe, from my perspective, I would say, your family and your surroundings. the enablers of your life, I would call them those people, maybe your mother or your father or your brother or your sister, who have been supportive of you and who have seen you and are seeing you going through the journey. Talk to them for 10-15 minutes, maybe some part of your preparation and something else about life and all. 15 minutes having a, don't isolate yourself. It doesn't demand isolation. You have to adapt, you don't have to isolate. So spend those 15 minutes with your loved ones. And believe me, you not, parents are the best friends in this case. Spending your 10-15 minutes. Secondly, what you can do is just if you have some hobby, 15-20 minutes into that, I would walk. I would go on walk for about 30 to 40 minutes. Walking is something that, because physical fitness also you need, now you just eating and sitting and revising and eating and sitting and revising. That should not be your cycle. Go out, have good oxygen in the evening. Now the air quality seems to be improving also. So you can spend those 30 minutes in the evening for a walk and maybe accompanied with music and all. And at the end, it's just an exam. It is just an exam. Nothing in life, I would say, is more valuable than you and yourself and your, healthy mind and body.
I see. Anyhow, next ma'am, somebody is asking कौन कांजी हम others that कितने sectional test, कितने fluent test और कहाँ से? You can be open to any.
Actually, see, I would say numericals पे we should not focus upon now. What you think about is अभी ऐसा टाइम पे क्या आप अपनी प्रेपरेशन को रुइन बहुत तरीकों से कर सकते हो, वो तरीकों से बचना है। रुइन करने के क्या तरीके हैं कि मैं तो जी रोज टेस्ट लगा रहा हूँ, देर आर टेस्ट लगा रहा हूँ, वो भी एफएलटी हर रोज लगा रहा हूँ, तो पढ़ कब रहे हो तुम 2 घंटे का एफएलटी लगा रहे हो, फिर तुम 2-3 घंटे उसका एनालिसिस कर रहे हो, तुम तो थक जाओगे ना तुम्हारा। हाँ, दिस इज माई ओन ये मतलब experience, from my experience I'm telling you. So don't go for that. Practice questions should be there, a set of 50 questions, maybe a set of 100 questions, depending upon your ability or how do you feel. Maybe not alternative days, 20 questions, 50 questions really are doable, that's not a challenge. But doing a test with timer laga ke 2 ghante ka FLT, and that would not work. What you can do is that at least weekly, at least one FLT weekly. And if you want to go for sectional, then I would suggest for the main components that we have: polity, economy, geography, history, Punjab GK, science and tech, 2 sectional tests would be enough. So 12 section. Again, I'm not going into the numbers, but since you have asked, so guiding you a bit, 12 to 15 will be your sectional test this way. If we talk about 7 to 8 components to each, and 4 to 5 or maybe 5-7 FLTs. And one thing that I would say is try that in the last 15 days, you are doing the FLT more. You can do 2 FLTs a week or maybe a 3 FLTs a week depending upon your preparation, but not don't get into sectionals. You can work on sectionals in these 2 weeks that we have. Again, go week by week, and week should be under day by day. So,
Next is how to reach the probable right answer. More about attempt.
yeah.
based on the examination.
Yeah, so attempt is again you would like you have been preparing for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 10 months, and maybe 6 months. But how do you approach the exam is going to matter a lot. First is your mindset. Second is attempt. Attempt for attempt. I think much has already been already been shared with you with the expert mentor. In this case, I would say even I had been on the same lines, and I agree to it fully. I would just say that you should, जैसे पहले बोला, flip the paper. First 5 minutes, 3 minutes, absorb that thing. अपने फोकस एरिया हर पेज के टॉप पे लिख लो। पी का पॉलिटी, इसमें पॉलिटी के क्वेश्चंस हैं, इसमें इकोनॉमी, ई का इकोनॉमी, साइंस का एसएनटी, एंड दिस पंजाब जीके का पीबी जीके, ऐसे करके 2 मिनट 3 मिनट 2 मिनट हार्डली लगते हैं पूरे पेपर को फ्लिप करने में, चाहे 35 पेजेस का पेपर हो। फ्लिप करके अब्सॉर्ब कर लिया, गो टू योर पार्ट दैट यू फील। तो वही है कि जो आपके यू फील दैट यू आर मोर कंफर्टेबल इन फर्स्ट 30 to 40 मिनट्स, खुद को आपने यू हैव टू गेट कंट्रोल ऑन योर नर्व्स। वंस यू हैव गॉट कंट्रोल ऑन योर नर्व्स, आफ्टर एन आवर इफ यू गेट टू नो कि मेरे 60 क्वेश्चन हो गए, 60 में से 40 तो वही है जो ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ, ਐਂਡ ਬਸ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨੈਕਸਟ 1 hour में, एंड देन द chronology of knowledge logic and hacks and nikammi baat will eventually work. And since it is being predicted that the paper might be being speculated, I would say that the paper might be lengthy, then it should be that way. Don't keep on sitting over a question that I'm not getting it, I'm not recalling it, oh so silly fact, I cannot recall this. So अपने से खुद को ही वहीं पे कोसने लग गए कि मुझे ये नहीं याद आ रहा, नहीं आ रहा तो नहीं आ रहा, इट्स ओके, मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डोंट be that. So you have to be in your senses, and ਜਿੰਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ aware ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ senses ਚ ਪੇਪਰ ਨੂੰ attempt ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਉਨਾ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਕੋਰ ਆਏਗਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਵੀ ਹੋਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ game is gone.
Last question is that what kind of difficulty level should we expect?
Say you should be like hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Difficulty level is eventually going to be there since you are preparing for the highest services of the state, and you should, even I would say, the you should pray also to God or whatever your almighty, or you should be into that zone कि पेपर डिफिकल्ट ही आना चाहिए, ताकि जो सिलेक्शन हो वो उनकी, वो जो एक्चुअली प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं कंसिस्टेंटली. One thing is because for 5 years paper आना is the aspirants who have been waiting for long na, they know the actual worth of it. ठीक है, फॉर देम पेपर का निकल जाना और पेपर का होना ही बहुत वर्दी है, बाद में जो मिलेगा वो तो फिर बाद, दिस इज मेकिंग मोर सेंस टू देम जी. So you know, so वो चीज, so I would just say that thing कि you should be in that thing कि paper tough आएगा, and if आना भी चाहिए then only they'll be able to differentiate between those who are preparing seriously consistently and those who have just taken up the things कि paper delay हो रहा है तो अब कहीं पे क्रैश कोर्स की 2 महीने में तैयारी हो जाती है, 4 महीने में हो जाती है. अब तो सीसैट वाला भी गया ना, अर्लियर इट यूज्ड टू बी कि सीसैट वुड get you through the prelims and then in mains you don't know how to go about it. So I think that would suffice.
Any other question?
Ma'am, challenging leave political career and world history.
No, leaving them all together won't. I believe that world history is doable since it is just, you know, a story format, you have to cater to that. See, मोटियां मोटियां 3-4 revolutions है, 2 वर्ल्ड वॉर है, अगला पिछला कनेक्ट हो ही जाता है, तो उस कुछ 10 hours आर इनफ, 2 hours or 2.5 hours on one revolution. जो 4 revolutions है, 3-4 ਤਾਂ 7-8 ਘੰਟੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ, ਇੱਕ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਰ ਤੇ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ, 10-12 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੀ ਗੇਮ ਹੈ, ਰੋਜ਼ 2 ਘੰਟੇ, ਅੱਜ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਕਰ ਲਈ, ਕੱਲ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਕਰ ਲਈ, why to leave it? 4 to 5 questions will be there. In political theory there might be dicey questions, but ਉਹ bare minimum you can do 2-3 hours ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ +1 ਦੀ ਹੈ, you can follow that, otherwise it's okay. ਉਹਨਾਂ questions ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਲੰਘਾਉਣਾ, ਪਾਰ ਲਗਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ question ਹੈ ਪੋਲਿਟੀ, ਇਕੋਨਮੀ, ਜੀਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ, ਪੰਜਾਬ, ਜੀਕੇ, ਸਾਇੰਸ.
entirely नहीं सकना और entirely नहीं करना, इसके लिए भी another जरिया है ना, draw करके वो भी simplest of question.
So
Right, anything else?
So all the best from my side, and I hope we'll meet again. Thank you.
And we'll thank Monica ma'am for taking her valuable time for us. And I hope from the Super 20 IS family, we wish her the best as well. And also we thank her since her advice, suggestion and words will stay with us not only till the end of the seminar, but throughout her life. So to such wise toppers, and I'll say she is the most humble topper I've ever met in life. I've created officers from constables to IS officers, but she's the only one Super 20 IS claims. Nobody else, never, ever. Just because of her humility, her strength, her courage, and 5 साल wait करके भी लगे हुए हैं. Very, very nice. So we thank her with a full of her heart. Right? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.